So in today's video, we're gonna do a nice little sequence of exercises that I just love so much. That is a great warm-up if you wanna put it at the start of a longer program. It's also a great full body mini workout if you wanna just use it as a little standalone and you're short on time. And then it's also really great for loosening up a tight and sticky upper back or the shoulders. So it could go into a private session for a really targeted purpose. So to set up, we're gonna use our Corealign at the open end. We'll have our carts sprung with a medium to light resistance. I have 2 each on each, and you can go ahead and play with that and work with whatever is most comfortable to you. And then you're gonna wanna have a mat or some sort of padding to kneel on, because we will begin right here at the open end kneeling, and we'll begin when you're ready. All right, let's begin. We're gonna place our hands on the carts, and I like to place them on the close edge so the heel of the hand can make some nice contact with the side of the cart. From here, let's just take a nice big breath in to lengthen out through the spine, and then simply exhale your way forward, letting your rib cage drop onto your thighs and your arms stretch out directly overhead. We're gonna stay and breathe, and the intention here is to let our breath do some magic on the inner body, helping to expand the rib cage and stretch layers of muscles throughout the back body. And we're also creating some expansion throughout the muscles of the core, our diaphragm, our pelvic floor, the transverse abdominis. So keep breathing and allow that to get long and soft as you exhale. Really let go of tension around the neck and shoulders. And then I'd like you to inhale and send those carts a little further out and get your shoulders to climb up by your ears. And then exhale, soften, and let the shoulders glide back down. We're going to do that several times so you can continue to move as you breathe and practice having the arms nice and straight so that we're not just letting the elbows absorb the movement. We're letting the shoulder blades start to practice gliding up and down on the rib cage. You can let the stack of your arms feel the force of the carts pushing back against the shoulder blades and sending them down. So we're getting an opportunity to really practice letting go of effort in the shoulders. And now we're going to let that happen on one side while the other shoulder reaches away. And then we'll switch. So one shoulder is elevating, one shoulder is depressing. And we're practicing getting soft and gooey on the softening shoulder, the depressed shoulder, and then we're gonna start to make that a little quicker, a little shoulder shimmy. And then as we continue to shimmy, we're gonna start to reach the heart forward and let that bring us up a little bit. Coming away from the thighs, we're gonna rise up gradually, continuing to shimmy, and let the shoulders now move into a little bit of a different dance, a little more forward and back. And you can increase the range and play with adding a little rotation in the rib cage and shoulders. And then we're gonna go back down. We're gonna just shimmy, shimmy our way forward, all the way to that low stretch. And then pause again when you get down low. And then let's soften on the left shoulder, reach on the right, and let that turn into low stretch with rotation. And then reach that left arm overhead, soften on the right, and let that elbow bend and twist to the right. And then we're going to start to swap in the middle. So we're letting the head follow the rotation of the spine. And we're practicing again, letting the carts push down through the length of the arm to send the shoulder down and away from the ear. And then we're going to take that one more time each side. Bring both arms overhead and then curl the tail under to roll all the way up. We're going to move now onto our knees on the stable platform. We'll climb on, set the knees in parallel underneath the hips, and then make your way up to high kneeling. From here, we're going to step the right foot forward onto the right cart, bring it out a little ways so we have a right angle at the right knee, and then we're going to try to find level hips. Let the right sit bone drop down, create a little lift up on the front of the pelvis to eliminate any bunching in the low back, and then we're going to glide out into a stretch, letting that left knee swing back in space. Let's add some arms reaching up to the sky, and then bend the elbows, pull the shoulders open, spread the heart energy wide out into the world, and then bring it back. Let's go again, sliding out, arms circle forward. Again, we bend the elbows, expand that heart space, and circle back to finish. One more like that. Reaching the arms up, pulling the elbows back, feeling the shoulder blades gather together at the back body, and then coming back to our start position. Now we're gonna limit our movement a little bit because we're gonna practice organizing around this standing leg. So we have our start position as close to neutral as possible, and we're gonna take this left leg into hip extension and then bring it back to neutral. So we're practicing this little range of motion that keeps the pelvis and the rest of the spine organized in neutral and helps us feel into our hip extensors, so glutes, hamstrings, and then we can add to that an awareness of our hip flexors on the return. As you come back, see if you can feel as though you're kicking that left knee forward. So you're activating your psoas in that lengthened position. Let's take the stretchy position one more time. Reach the left arm up and side bend over to the right, feeling into all that space you're creating down the left side of the body into the hip. Then we'll circle the hands back to our sides and bring it in. We're gonna switch sides. Careful as you transition, right knee back, left foot forward. If this feels unsteady to you, you can always bring a prop to hold on to, perhaps a roller or a pole. We're gonna again organize before we move, drop the left sit bone, lift up on the front of the pelvis, down on the back, and then take a couple yummy deep stretches. Again, we glide forward, let's add our arms, pull the elbows back, slide the shoulder blades together, and circle our way back to the start. And again, going for that big yummy stretch to those hip flexors before we go into the more technical movement. One more time. And then we bend the elbows, bring it all the way back, and then reset. Level hips, up the front, down the back, and then we're gonna toggle again. It's on that right femur this time. We can think of it like a little switch, toggling on and off, mostly in one direction, into extension. You could go a little bit into flexion, coming back a little further. In fact, I do like that. But let's play with it the way we did on the first side. So we're gonna toggle and then add that element of kicking the right knee forward on the exhale. It's gonna help us deepen our core engagement and feel that psoas engagement in that lengthened position. Two more. And one more. And then we'll take it into the stretch. Take the right arm up to the sky. You can let your left hand reach towards the earth as we side bend. And here we're gonna stay and take at least one full breath in, creating all that expansion from the inside out, and then circle the hand back by your side as we exhale. We're gonna step back and then help ourselves back down to kneeling on ground level. And then we're gonna place our forearms on the carts. So we'll bring our elbows and forearms onto the carts and then slide them out so that we are at a sort of all fours right angled position. And let's warm up this position with some sternum drops. So we're gonna let the rib cage and spine just simply tilt and sink towards the carts. And then we're gonna lift that line back up. What I'd like to add here is a little more push down into the carts. This is to awaken the serratus more than before. So thinking about pushing the carts into the tracks, almost as if they would float away if we weren't holding them down firmly. And then once we have that, we're gonna slide the carts forward and try to keep that lift, even as we tilt, keeping a lift away from the carts and holding those carts down powerfully. Again, press into the carts as you glide them back underneath you. And again, exhale out. Inhale to glide the carts home. And again, see if you can notice your pelvis rolling over the femurs, allowing you to fold the front of the hips more so we can keep that neutral spine. And again, just really finding those shoulders activated in the stretch, helping to provide us with more movement in the shoulder blades. Again, that upward rotation this time that's happening here. We get to encourage that even more. And then from the home position, or that all fours position, let's take the left cart back, the right cart forward, and then add a tail wag. With your tail to the left, we're gonna gaze back over the left shoulder, and then switch the carts and switch the direction of your tail. And then switch. And switch. And we'll go again, once more to each side. And then pause. Organize the elbows right under the shoulders. Take your toes tucked under. And from here, we're gonna blast off into our forearm plank. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, press out. We're gonna hold. See if we can get the legs fully elongated, heart forward. And then pull the knees into the chest to come back. And we'll press back out. Feeling the thighs, those femurs toggle in the hip sockets. And we're going for 3 more. And 2, keep breathing. And 1, hold, and maybe move your left and right cart opposite each other for a little bonus challenge. And then bend the knees, come all the way back, land and rest. Let's place the hands on the carts again and take a nice friendly low stretch to recover and release tension. We'll take another breath. Exhale, let the carts come in as we round through the spine. We'll let the carts land, move our hands to the stable platform, and rock your weight forward. We're going to tuck the toes under, lift the hips, and then walk the feet forward to come into a nice, easeful forward fold, letting the arms just relax into gravity, perhaps giving your head a little time to release too, letting it shake left to right. Nod the chin to your chest and release. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're curling the tail under, lifting up on the underside of the body to roll all the way up to standing. Here we'll roll the shoulders back. And then let's take a moment to stretch the arms out wide, reach up to the sky. We're going to bring the palms together and then let the shoulders soften, let the elbows soften, and we'll let the hands glide home to our center. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you feel strong, centered, and inspired. Again, my name is Arwen Brooke, and you can find me and your Corealign community at corealigncolab.com.